Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a really interesting workbook. It's all about helping athletes cut down on pressure, and build confidence before a match.
Right. The mission here seems to be figuring out how athletes can perform their best without getting completely bogged down by, well, needing to win.
Exactly. It's not saying winning doesn't matter, but this source uses a 21-day framework to shift focus onto things you can actually control.
And that's key, isn't it? Because the core problem highlighted is that intense focus on winning often backfires. Athletes get tense, they underperform. It's a bit of a paradox.
Yeah, it really is. So is the central idea, the main takeaway seems to be evaluate and focus on the stuff within your control. That's how you neutralize the win-loss pressure.
And that lets you play more freely, more confidently. It's about getting out of your own head, in a way.
So let's unpack that first big concept, measuring things you can't control. What does that actually look like in practice?
Well, instead of just staring at the scoreboard, right? The workbook pushes athletes to track specific actions, behaviors, mindsets, things they have direct influence over.
Okay.
And this shift is psychologically quite powerful, focusing on, say, your footwork drills or maintaining a positive attitude actually takes mental energy away from worrying about the score.
Yeah.
Our brains can only focus on so much, you know?
Right. You're redirecting that mental bandwidth.
Precisely. To something tangible and actionable, which inherently feels less anxiety-provoking than an uncertain outcome.
And connected to that, there's this idea they introduce pressure as privilege. I found that really intriguing. It's about flipping the script on pressure.
Absolutely. It's a reframe. Instead of feeling pressure as this heavy negative weight, you start to see it as a positive signal.
I'll signal that.
That you're in a situation that matters, that you've earned the right to be there, competing. It suggests cultivating this mindset over the 21 days helps athletes, well, maybe not love pressure, but embrace it as part of the challenge.
Okay, so it becomes fuel rather than fear. That makes sense. How does the actual 21-day evaluation work then? Day to day.
So the core mechanic is pretty straightforward. Each day you pick maybe 2 or 3 specific controllable things you are responsible for.
Like what, for example?
Well, the workbook apparently gives 45 examples to get you started. Things like fighting spirit, how hard you work in training, mental focus, staying positive.
Wow, 45, so plenty of options.
Yeah, and they encourage you to be creative, find what fits your sport, your specific needs, and then you rate yourself on these 3 things, scale of 1 to 5.
Simple rating, okay.
And they suggest making that evaluation page visible, maybe calculate a weekly average, aiming for, I think it was 4.6 or higher.
A concrete target.
Exactly. And crucially, reminding yourself of those 2-3 focus points during matches or practice, bringing them top of mind when the pressure might usually start to build.
It sounds like it breaks down these big fuzzy concepts like confidence into really small, actionable steps.
That's the idea. They categorize the examples too, which helps. Things like effort and mindset, attitude, self-belief, even execution, like sticking to tactics.
You mentioned examples like pre-match routines, breathing, how you react to mistakes.
Visualization, body language, communication with a coach, managing emotions, even just, being kind to yourself when things go wrong. They cover a lot.
It really highlights how many different levers you can pull, doesn't it? Things that are actually under your influence.
Totally. And it brings that locus of control, internal, away from just the external result.
You mentioned this isn't just for the pros, right?
No, absolutely not. I mean, think about it. Anyone facing a high-stakes situation, giving a presentation, a job interview, whatever, can feel that performance pressure.
Yeah. Definitely.
This whole approach, focusing on what you can control in your preparation, your mindset, your delivery, it's broadly applicable. It's about managing your own response.
It really empowers you, I think. Instead of feeling like a victim of the pressure, you're actively managing your state through these controllable inputs.
Exactly. You're building resilience and confidence brick by brick, day by day, through that consistent focus.
For me, the most powerful part is that shift from just hoping you feel confident to actively building it. It's very proactive.
That's the core message, I think. Shift from the outcome you can't fully control to the process you can. That's how you lessen the pressure and ultimately perform better.
A really practical framework.
Yeah, it gives you a concrete method, not just abstract advice.
So, wrapping up, maybe a thought for everyone listening. Thinking beyond just sports.
Yeah.
What are those small, controllable things in your life, the things you face where the stakes feel high? What could you start measuring, focusing on to build that confidence?
That's a great question to ponder.
Yeah.
Where can you apply this shift in focus?
Definitely something to think about.